Victoria Ada Okwu stood in front of her ring light, adjusting the angle for the perfect shot. At 29, she had built something extraordinary from her small apartment in Enugu. What started as random lifestyle posts had grown into a movement, 950,000 followers hanging on her every word about fashion, beauty, and living your best life. Good morning, my beautiful people, she beamed into the camera, her natural radiance filling the screen. Today we're talking about self-love and transformation. The comments flooded in immediately. Victoria, you're glowing. Please drop your skincare routine. Inspiration loading. 100%. But behind the confident facade, Victoria harbored insecurities that her followers couldn't see. Despite her success, she stared at herself in the mirror each morning, pinching at areas she wished were different. The pressure to look perfect for the camera was suffocating. Her best friend, Chiamaka, often caught her in these moments of self-doubt. "Vicky, you literally have almost 1 million people who think you're perfect," Chiamaka would say, watching her friend scrutinize her reflection. "That's the problem," Victoria would reply. "They think I'm perfect, but I know I'm not." The comments didn't help. Mixed between the love were subtle digs. "She's pretty, but imagine if she had a smaller waist." "Brazilian but lift would complete the look." "Natural is nice, but enhanced is better." Each comment was a tiny needle, and slowly, they added up. It was a Tuesday morning in March when the DM arrived. Victoria was sipping her morning tea and scrolling through her messages when she saw it, a verified account with a blue tick at Diarimin Turkish Clinic. "Hello beautiful Victoria. We've been following your amazing content and would love to offer you a complete body transformation package. Brazilian butt lift, tummy tuck, breast augmentation, everything free in exchange for documenting your journey. You're exactly the kind of influence we want to work with. DM us if interested. This offer is limited time only." Victoria's heart skipped. She'd seen other influencers documenting their Turkish surgery experiences, the luxurious clinics, the dramatic before and after photos, the confidence boost. It seemed like a dream come true. She screenshot the message and sent it to Chiamaka immediately. Within minutes, her phone rang. "Vicky, please tell me you're not considering this." "Why not?" "It's free. And look at their page, the results are incredible." "Free surgery from strangers on the internet? That's not free, that's suspicious." But Victoria was already scrolling through the clinic's Instagram. Gleaming facilities, happy patients, dramatic transformations. The testimonials were glowing. "Best decision of my life. Dr. Emin is a genius. I feel like a new woman. Chiamaka, look at these results. And it's in Istanbul, people travel from all over the world for Turkish surgery. It's like the Dubai of cosmetic procedures. Since when do you know about Turkish surgery? Since Instagram algorithm started showing me everything about it. The prices are amazing, the doctors are skilled, and now they're offering it for free." That evening, Victoria did what she always did with big decisions, she went live. "My loves, I need your honest opinion. I've been offered an incredible opportunity." The live session had 15,000 viewers within minutes. As she explained the offer, the comments exploded. "Do it. You only live once. Turkey surgeries are the best. Free surgery? Girl, that's a blessing. Document everything. You're going to look amazing." But scattered among the encouragement were warnings. "Please be careful, sis. Research the clinic first. Free things come with hidden costs. My cousin had issues with Turkish surgery." Victoria found herself gravitating toward the positive comments, dismissing the concerns as jealousy or fear. "You know what, my people? Life is about taking chances. I'm going to do this." The live session ended with 89% of viewers voting yes in her poll. The correspondence with Dr. Emin's team was swift and professional. Within 48 hours, they had her flight booked, accommodation arranged, and surgery scheduled. The speed should have been the first red flag, but Victoria was caught up in the excitement. "Everything is moving so fast," she told her mother during their daily phone call. "Too fast," her mother replied. "Neen, when did you become so careless with your life?" "Mama, it's not careless. It's an investment in myself." "An investment? You're letting strangers cut you open for Instagram likes." The conversation ended in frustration, but Victoria's mind was made up. Her content about the upcoming trip performed incredibly well. The announcement video got 2.3 million views. Brands started reaching out for partnerships. Her follower count jumped to 975,000. "See," she told Chiamaka, "this is already paying off, and I haven't even gone yet." The clinic's communication, however, was becoming increasingly casual. When Victoria asked about pre-surgery medical consultations, they assured her everything would be handled when you arrive. When she inquired about the specific procedures and recovery time, they sent generic brochures that could apply to anyone. When she requested information about Dr. Emin's credentials, she received a PDF with certificates she couldn't verify. "Vicky, none of this feels right," Chiamaka pleaded during their final conversation before the trip. "You don't even know what exactly they're going to do to you. They're professionals, Chiamaka. Stop being so paranoid. Professionals don't operate like this. My cousin is a nurse in London, she says no reputable surgeon would do this." But Vicky was beyond reasoning. The excitement, the attention, the promise of transformation, it was intoxicating. Victoria landed in Istanbul on a sunny Thursday morning, immediately struck by the city's beauty. The clinic had sent a driver with a sign bearing her name, making her feel like a celebrity. The accommodation was a modest hotel near the clinic, nice enough for social media posts but not the luxury she'd expected from the photos they'd sent. Her first meeting with Dr. Emin was scheduled for that evening. She spent the day exploring the area, creating content, and feeling excited about the journey ahead. Day 1 in Istanbul, she posted on her story, showing the city skyline. "Tomorrow I become the best version of myself." Dr. Emin was younger than she'd expected, probably in his early 30s, with perfect English and an easy charm. His clinic was modern and clean, filled with before and after photos of smiling patients. "Victoria, you're more beautiful in person," he said, embracing her like an old friend. "Are you ready to become a goddess?" The consultation was brief, too brief. He examined her for maybe 10 minutes, asking basic questions about her medical history while simultaneously taking calls and responding to messages. "Any allergies?" "No." "Previous surgeries?" "No." "Perfect. You're an ideal candidate. We'll do everything tomorrow." "Tomorrow? Don't I need any tests?" "Blood work. All routine. We handle everything in-house. Don't worry, I've done thousands of these procedures." That evening, Dr. Emin invited her to join him and his team for dinner. "It's a tradition," he said. "We like to get to know our patients as people, not just procedures." The restaurant was upscale, the company lively. Dr. Emin was charming, funny, and attentive. His team treated her like a celebrity, constantly taking photos and videos for the clinic's social media. To beautiful Victoria and her transformation, Dr. Emin toasted, raising his wine glass. The wine flowed freely. Victoria, caught up in the atmosphere and trying to be social, drank more than she intended. The evening stretched past midnight, filled with laughter, dancing, and endless toasts to her upcoming rebirth. She stumbled back to her hotel at 2 a.m., tipsy and exhausted. Her phone was buzzing with messages from Chiamaka. "How did the consultation go? What time is surgery tomorrow? Are you okay? You're not responding." Victoria typed back quickly, "All good. Surgery at 9 a.m. Talk tomorrow after I'm reborn." She collapsed into bed without removing her makeup, too tired and intoxicated to think about the fact that she just consumed alcohol less than 7 hours before major surgery. Victoria woke up at 7 a.m. feeling terrible. Her head pounded, her mouth was dry, and she felt nauseous. She'd forgotten to set multiple alarms and nearly overslept. She rushed to shower and get ready, her hands shaking slightly from dehydration and nerves. At the clinic, a nurse named Fatma greeted her with a warm smile and led her to a small room to change into a surgical gown. "Any food or drink since midnight?" Fatma asked in broken English. Victoria hesitated. She'd had wine until almost 2 a.m., but surely that was fine? It was mostly out of her system by now. No, she lied, not wanting to delay the surgery she'd come so far for. Good. Dr. Emin will see you soon. There was no preoperative examination. No blood tests. No EKG. No consultation with an anesthesiologist. Victoria expected more questions, more checks, more something. But everyone seemed in a hurry. Dr. Emin appeared briefly, marking her body with a surgical pen while talking on his phone in Turkish. "Ready to become a new woman?" he asked, barely looking at her face. "I guess, shouldn't I meet the anesthesiologist first? Dr. Mehmet is excellent. You'll meet him in the OR. Don't worry, everything will be perfect." As they wheeled her toward the operating room, Victoria felt a sudden wave of panic. Something felt wrong. The rushed timeline, the casual attitude, the lack of proper preoperative procedures. She thought about her mother's warnings, Amarka's concerns, the critical comments on her posts that she'd dismissed. But it was too late to turn back now. She was already in the OR, looking up at bright lights and unfamiliar faces speaking in Turkish. "Count backward from 10, Dr. Mehmet said in accented English as he placed the mask over her face. 10, 9, 8. Victoria's last conscious thought was a prayer. "Please let me wake up beautiful." What happened next would haunt everyone in that operating room forever. As the anesthesia took effect, Victoria's body began responding poorly to the medication. Her blood pressure dropped rapidly. Her heart rate became irregular. The alcohol still in her system, combined with her dehydration and the stress on her body, created a perfect storm. Dr. Mehmet noticed the irregularities immediately. "Her vitals are unstable," he called out in Turkish. Dr. Emin looked up from where he was beginning to make the first incision. "What's wrong?" "Blood pressure dropping, heart rate erratic. We need to stop." But stopping wasn't simple. Victoria was already under deep anesthesia, her body positioned for surgery. Dr. Emin made a decision that would prove fatal. "She'll stabilize. Continue monitoring." He resumed the procedure. For 20 minutes, Victoria's body fought against the anesthesia and the trauma of surgery. The monitors showed increasingly alarming readings. Then, at 9:47 a.m., her heart stopped. "Code blue! Code blue!" Dr. Mehmet shouted. The operating room erupted into controlled chaos. Dr. Emin immediately stopped the surgery, leaving Victoria's body partially opened as the team worked to revive her. They performed CPR for 90 minutes. 90 minutes of chest compressions, defibrillation, emergency medications, and desperate attempts to restart her heart. But Victoria Ada Okwu, the girl who wanted to become the best version of herself, was gone. At 11:17 a.m. Istanbul time, they called it. She never saw her transformation. She never posted her after photos. She never made it home to Enugu. The clinic's response was swift and calculated. Within hours, they had their story straight. Unexpected allergic reaction to anesthesia. Very rare. Nothing could have been done. They claimed they'd followed all protocols, that Victoria had provided complete medical history, that the tragedy was simply an act of God. But the nurse who'd asked about food and drink remembered Victoria's hesitation. The restaurant staff remembered the table that stayed until 2 a.m. The hotel security cameras captured her stumbling return. Dr. Emin's team worked quickly to control the narrative. They deleted social media posts, destroyed documentation, and coached staff on what to say if anyone asked questions. The clinic's lawyer contacted Victoria's family with a generous settlement offer and a non-disclosure agreement. "These things happen," he said coldly. "Surgery always carries risks. We're willing to provide compensation out of goodwill, but only with complete confidentiality." The call came to Chiamaka first. She was at work in Lagos when her phone rang with an international number. "Miss Amaka, this is from Istanbul Medical Center. We have been trying to reach family of Miss Victoria Okwu." The words that followed felt surreal. Cardiac arrest. Everything possible was done. "So sorry for your loss." Amaka collapsed in her office cubicle, her colleagues rushing to help as she screamed Victoria's name over and over. The task of calling Victoria's mother fell to her. It was the hardest conversation of her life. "Mama Vicky, please sit down. I have very bad news about Vicky." The older woman's wails could be heard throughout their compound in Enugu. Neighbors gathered, initially curious about the commotion, then shocked into silence as word spread. The Nigerian media picked up the story within days. Instagram influencer dies during free surgery in Turkey dominated headlines. The clinic's initial response was sympathetic but defensive. They released a statement expressing condolences while maintaining they'd followed all proper procedures. But as details emerged, the story became more damning. Investigative journalists discovered that Dr. Emin had been sanctioned twice in the past 3 years for safety violations. The clinic operated with minimal oversight, processing dozens of international patients weekly in what former employees described as assembly line conditions. They promised influencers free surgeries in exchange for positive posts, one anonymous former nurse revealed. But they cut corners everywhere. No proper screening, rushed procedures, minimal post-operative care. It was only a matter of time before someone died. As Amaka and Vicky's family fought for answers, they uncovered a disturbing pattern. Victoria wasn't the first. In the past 2 years, at least 8 Nigerian women had died during cosmetic procedures in Turkish clinics. Most had been lured by social media marketing, promised transformations that would change their lives. The victims were young, successful, beautiful women who'd been convinced they weren't enough as they were. Kimi, 26, from Ibadan, died during a Brazilian butt lift. Blessing, 31, from Calabar, went into cardiac arrest during liposuction. Jennifer, 28, from Warri, suffered fatal complications during breast augmentation. Oluchi, 33, from Owari, died from anesthesia complications during a mommy makeover. Each family had been offered settlements and silence. Each death had been labeled an unfortunate accident or rare complication. The Turkish medical tourism industry was built on volume and profit, not safety. Clinics competed by offering cheaper prices and faster procedures, cutting corners on safety protocols. They target African women specifically, a whistleblower doctor revealed. They know we're less likely to sue, less likely to have family members who can afford to fly over and investigate. The social media marketing was sophisticated and deliberate. Clinics studied successful influencers, identified their insecurities, and crafted personalized offers designed to be irresistible. They used fake testimonials, doctored before and after photos, and paid for positive reviews. The glossy Instagram feeds hid a darker reality of rushed procedures, unqualified staff, and corner-cutting that would never be tolerated in regulated medical systems. Victoria's family refused the clinic's settlement offer. With Amaka's support and crowd-funded legal fees, they hired a Turkish lawyer willing to take on the medical tourism industry. The case revealed shocking details. Victoria's surgery was scheduled just 16 hours after her arrival, with no time for proper preoperative assessment. She was never examined by a qualified anesthesiologist before surgery. The clinic had no protocol for verifying patients' preoperative fasting status. Dr. Emin was performing 3 surgeries simultaneously that morning. The operating room lacked proper emergency resuscitation equipment. This wasn't medical malpractice, their lawyer argued. This was criminally negligent homicide. But the Turkish legal system proved frustrating. Evidence disappeared. Witnesses became unavailable. The clinic's lawyers used every delay tactic possible. Meanwhile, Dr. Emin continued operating, his Instagram feed filled with smiling patients and dramatic transformations, as if nothing had happened. The clinic even had the audacity to continue reaching out to Nigerian influencers with exclusive surgery packages. Amaka made it her mission to ensure Victoria's death wasn't in vain. She created an Instagram account called @RealTalkCosmetic, dedicated to exposing the truth about medical tourism. Her first post was a photo of Victoria laughing at their last dinner together in Enugu. "This is my best friend Victoria. She was beautiful, successful, and loved by almost 1 million people. She died in a Turkish operating room chasing a beauty standard that told her she wasn't enough. This page is her legacy to save other women from the same fate." The account gained 100,000 followers in its first week. Women shared their own horror stories. Infections that lasted months. Botched procedures that required multiple corrective surgeries. Emotional trauma from being abandoned when complications arose. Financial ruin from medical bills not covered by travel insurance. Amaka partnered with medical professionals to create educational content about the realities of medical tourism. The red flags to watch for. Clinics that book surgery within days of first contact. No requirement for preoperative medical clearance. Packages that seem too good to be true. Pressure to book immediately with limited time offers. No clear information about surgeon credentials. Minimal post-operative care included. Social media marketing that targets insecurities. The questions to ask. What are the surgeon's specific qualifications and experience? What emergency protocols are in place? What happens if complications arise after you return home? Who provides follow-up care? What is the clinic's complication rate? Can you speak to previous patients, not just see their posts? Victoria's story sparked a broader conversation about beauty standards, social media pressure, and the lengths women go to achieve impossible ideals. Her mother, initially destroyed by grief, found purpose in speaking to young women about self-acceptance. "My daughter was beautiful," she would say at these talks. But social media convinced her she wasn't beautiful enough. "We must teach our girls that they are already enough." I was literally about to book my flight to Istanbul when I found your page. Thank you for saving my life. Your posts made me realize I was beautiful already. I used the surgery money for a master's degree instead. I almost became another Victoria. Thank you for telling her story. The most impactful content came from women who'd survived Turkish surgery complications, the ones willing to break their NDAs and share their experiences. I spent 15 million Nigerian nairas on a BBL that nearly killed me. I was in a Turkish hospital for 3 weeks with sepsis. The clinic abandoned me the moment complications arose. I had to crowdfund my medical bills and find my own way home. My breast implants were infected within days. The clinic told me it was normal healing and sent me home. I've had 4 corrective surgeries in Lagos and still don't look normal. I thought I was getting a tummy tuck from a qualified plastic surgeon. I later found out the doctor who operated on me was a general practitioner with no cosmetic surgery training. These stories, combined with medical professionals explaining proper surgical protocols, created a powerful counter-narrative to the glossy marketing that had seduced Victoria. The moral lesson of this story is that the price of beauty should never be your life. You were born beautiful. You are beautiful now. You will be beautiful tomorrow. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. In a world that profits from insecurity, choosing self-acceptance is a radical act. It's also the safest one. Hope you learned something valuable from today's story. Stay tuned as we bring more interesting tales your way. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when we post. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Your support means a lot.